with that because I think especially people that are maybe just starting out,
Mhm.
they're struggling maybe to quit their job and go full time with the hustle because they don't have that security. How did you make sure that you always had enough to survive at the time?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm definitely delusional in the fact of once I 100% set my mind to something, it's just like I can't live any other type of way. And if I try to, I literally am just miserable. So for me, it's like I can work a job and I'm going to be miserable. And I'm not anti-job by any means. It's just for me personally, I
Mhm.
didn't like it. Like if you have some awesome career, more power to you. For me though,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, I can go and clock into this job, clock out of the job. I can finish anything that they need me to do in the first like 2 or 3 hours, and then I'm just wasting the rest of the time, my day. So like the only other option was for me to figure out a way to make money on my own. So like I was saying, I did flipping, which brought in a decent amount of cash, which literally cash. And then I would also go and take care of properties. So like I would clean apartment buildings. The Walmart parking lot was a client of mine, and all that. So that allowed me to sustain myself. Like with the cleaning, I think I was doing like $480 a week under the table for the most
Yeah.
part. So that was
Yeah.
nice. And then we had the flipping, which was also cash. So I mean, I was able to sustain myself. I wasn't by any shape or like I wasn't making a ton of money, like I guess in comparison to what I think view it as now. But back then, it was enough for me to have any food that I wanted, pay for rent, pay for my car payment, my car insurance, all that. So at the time, that was what I needed money for, and it worked
Mm.
out, and it gave me the ability to be able to go see, example, Andrew and Tristan in Washington D.C. 2019. So it allowed me to do anything I wanted to do outside of traveling the world. So for the most part, I was happy because I was at least finding a way to make money. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's almost like ambition at the time that was actually keeping you going.
Mhm.
And I guess also like when you eat what you kill, you're gonna do anything to make money in the moment. So that
Yeah,
kind
for
of that,
sure. And like, I don't want to make it sound like it was super easy. In hindsight, it was way easier than I made it. But like
mm,
during that time period, bro, I wouldn't say depressed, but I was not a very happy person. Like it would be
mm,
at the end of the day, I would be sitting on the back of my car, just looking up at the stars, like because I lived out in the country, so I wasn't in some like parking lot. I was literally out in the country, like, bro, there has to be more than that. Like, what are we not doing
mm,
correctly? So there's a lot of time periods like that over the course of years. But eventually, you just get tired of What's the term? You get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like I was just like, okay,
yeah,
once again for like the thousandth time, bro. Like we need to figure something out. This isn't
yeah,
working. So after years and years of that, yeah, like you eventually just get tired of that nonsense, and then you do it, you execute. Like I'm very good at executing. I would say a weakness of mine is I put it off, put it off, put it off, and I'm like, okay, I can't take this anymore, and then I execute. So
yeah.
my success has happened as I get very much faster on executing. Like, okay, here's this idea, execute. Instead of here's this idea, oh, you know what I've got now is fine, and just let it go along for months on end, and then finally I'm like, okay, execute. So my success now, I would say, is I'm much more like I believe in myself much more, but also I execute way faster. So a lot of the
Mhm.
viewers that are watching this, you have ideas, and I'm not saying you need to go quit your job right now. Like I actually slowed myself down by quitting my job so impulsively. Like I drove for Uber one time, bro, and it made like $75. I was like, nice, I can make money without a job. So I quit my job. I should have prolonged that a little bit more because it definitely put me back a solid year or so. So I'm not saying that the people have to quit your job, but you need to have this like urgency. So like if you're inside the real world, while you work your job, like you can wake up an hour earlier. And I've got something called the daily mental power checklist that allows you to start winning the day from the get go. Complete your daily mental power checklist, go into work, obsess over what you're going to be doing once you get off, get home and start working on a business. And if you do that for 3 to 6 months, I mean, maybe it'll take you longer. Who knows? Some people are closing clients in their first week, but it's all on how fast you actually execute it. It takes as long as it takes. As long as you achieve it, are you really going to cry about it? Like if it takes you a month or if it takes you 6 months, but you end up building a business that allows you to travel the world, quit your job, it's worth it. So the best thing that the viewers could do is you can either have your job and then find a little side hustle that we teach inside the real world and then build that into an actual business. Or if you have some money saved up, you could quit your job if you wanted to. But I always encourage people to at least hold your job like for a little bit because
Mhm.
they've been psyoped into thinking, oh, if I work a job, it's slavery and it's holding me back. No, it's not, bro. It really isn't. It's you that's holding you back. You're coming up with all these excuses.
Absolutely, and that's where I'll give credit to the real world as well, because I think a big thing that holds people back from an idea to execution, it's
Mhm.
information. And the same sort of way that if you had that information to begin with, oh,
Oh, bro.
if you had information to begin with, I'm sure you wouldn't have had to spend, maybe years of hustling and maybe
Yeah,
struggling to find out something that works. So that's where I
bro.
will give a lot of credit.
Yeah, bro, for real. Like back in the day, it was like the blog era. So like you'd have to read dozens and dozens of blog articles to figure out one little piece of information. So like I didn't know what niches were. I had no wording for copywriting, freelancing, none of that. And I tell the students all the time, like I'm kind of jealous of you because like you come in, you're told here's what you need to be doing day by day by day. Here's how to
Yeah.
pick your niche. Here's this. Here's this. Here's this. So the information is just given to you on a silver platter, and most of them they don't even appreciate it. They're just like, "Oh yeah," but I'm like, "Bro, like if I had this, I would be even richer than I am now. I would have cut the transformation, God, like 4 or 5 years probably. Like it's
Mhm.
ridiculous." So all of you have the discipline. You know how to work hard, and the information's in front of you, but yet you still don't take action on it. And that like you're never going to become a success if you just sit around. Like you're surrounded by opportunity, and
Yeah.
that's something that we teach inside the real world is that you have so much opportunity around you, and we help you like monetize that. Like right now in the room that the person's watching this, there's opportunity all around them. And once you learn how to actually view money correctly, and then you have an actual checklist to knock out, you start making money, and then you realize making money is actually not that hard. Now, I don't know how to make $1 billion, so I'm not saying that making money at that level is easy, but I'm talking about the kind of money where you could retire your mom, travel the world. That type of money is way easier once you understand the right information and you execute on it. And then another positive of the real world is we actually provide coaching as well. Like I do a live call with my students where they can ask me directly certain questions. We have various support chats where we'll go back and forth, like texting each other. So they've got the support aspect, the information, and the actions to take. It's like a win-win-win.